good.
Okay, good to go. Thank you everyone for coming, attending today, whether you're here in person or virtually.
That's right.
Oh, virtually, yes. And first up, I'd like to introduce Jon Halpin from Carclew. Thank you, Jon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, my name is Jon Halpin. I'm the Senior Manager of Arts Programs at Carclew. And for at least the next 6 months or so, I'm also managing the grants program since Peter Grace left us and went to Arts SA. Sorry. Most of you will probably know something about Carclew. The company's 45 years old. It's a peak body operating in the youth arts sector here in South Australia. We work with people under 26 years of age, or 26 years and under. I guess if we tried to boil it down, there's so many different arms to Carclew, but if you tried to boil it down to 3 major program areas, we provide high quality arts experiences for children and young people, predominantly from disadvantaged communities, but not exclusively. We do work in other areas as well. We do work as closely as we can with the education sector to try and embed creativity in schools, and not just in the arts programs or English programs, also in maths and science as well. We try and marry those two. One of our programs, CBL, teaching numeracy through artistic practice to kids. And we support, which is why I'm here today, we support early career artists through funding and professional development to further their practice. So speaking particularly about the funding element of it, we disperse, it's around $1 million per year through our grants program. The majority of that does go towards the operational or specific program delivery of 7 organisations. Sir Kids to Faces in Whyalla. We support Kuraroo through Kura Yellow. Music of Viva to deliver their music program in South Australian schools. Patch Theatre, Restless Dance and Riverland Youth Theatre are the other organisations that we support. But I'll talk a little bit about our projects and development grants, firstly for individuals. So this is a program that we run, oh, I should have done that slide earlier. This is a program that we run for twice a year, and it's for people 26 years and under to apply for a program to, a grant to either develop a work, getting it up to production ready, or for something that's ready for production. And we offer grants of up to $10,000 for each individual in this round. Now, if you can also use up to $3,000 of that money for professional development. So if you want to secure a mentor or travel overseas or do some other activity that furthers your development as an artist or as a creative practitioner, you can use up to $3,000 for that. If you're wanting to do something more substantial in professional development, we do offer fellowships, which I'll get to later. You can also be working, you can also be over 20 or 27 or over, but if you're working predominantly with and for young people, you are eligible for these grants as well. And so, as I said, it's up to $10,000, and as I said, there are two dates a year. The 15th of March and the 15th of September are the 2 closing dates for these rounds. The grants are not yet open for the September round, but we just had the March round. We did the assessments a couple of weeks ago, and those decisions are now before the Minister. Oh no, they're not. They're before our board, about to go to the Minister. As we focus on young people as our key customers, I guess, for these grants programs, we very strongly encourage young people to come in for a consult, or maybe if they're living regionally over Skype or on a telephone, to come in and sit down with our grants program officer, who's currently Dale Jury, who's doing maternity leave cover for Beth, where they can come in with a draft of their application. Someone from Carclew will read that application and give them feedback, encourage them to focus on particular areas of that grant, bearing in mind these are emerging artists, it might be their first ever grant. It's a pretty daunting thing when you're first doing it. And encourage them then to submit another draft for less formal feedback, so that they are more ready, I guess, for when it sits before peers. It's assessed by a panel of peers. We have different art forms represented. I think it's 6 or 7 peers in the room that do the assessments. And I think, and then with the feedback session, we give pretty extensive feedback to each of the applicants again, bearing in mind that a lot of these artists are still developing. They may have been focusing more on their craft and their grant writing abilities at this stage of their career. So we don't necessarily just give the broad brushstrokes in feedback. We do take the time to break down that feedback process so that they get a clear understanding of why they were unsuccessful and even why they were successful, so that they are better prepared next time that they're applying for a grant. There's a number of different things that we support. There's the creation of new work, the exploration of new art forms and exposure to new, to emerging methods of practice. Professional development, as I mentioned before, you can participate in a workshop or a masterclass. You might be working with children or young people to create art. We like young artists who are making exciting, brave choices in their art. It may be it's rare, but we can fund established artists to work alongside emerging artists to share their influence, inspirations, and methods in core practice. That's more sits comfortably in the fellowship area. We can also fund projects that make art more accessible for young people, and and then also once a year we offer, it's fairly new, P&D or project and development grants for organisations, and that's grants up to $20,000. That's for not-for-profit incorporated bodies who are based in South Australia. The organisations eligible to apply for this program can't be in receipt of annual funding, currently in receipt of annual funding from Carclew, or operational funding from Art South Australia. And they're offered in the September round, so they'll be coming up in the next couple of months. And you can apply for up to $20,000. So they will be open in June or July. I think it'll be July this year, and they will close mid-September. We also offer fellowships. We used to have some scholarships, but now it's fellowships because they're a little bit more substantial. There's a bit more money involved. You can see on the screen there we've got Silver Cobham Harvey and Finn Crookmeyer, who both been recipients of scholarships from Carclew in the past. This program allows for an artist or an arts worker aged 26 or under again to pitch a professional development proposal to us, and they can propose a program of study or professional development and request financial support ranging from $3,000 to $12,000. The fellowships can be to study at an international summer school or to participate in master classes. Residencies, internships, mentorships, or to immerse themselves in a different and challenging environment, to be exposed to innovation and more cutting-edge ideas. They are open to applicants practicing in all artistic mediums, as well as technical, administration and production areas of the arts. The key dates, they're open now. They opened last week, the fellowships, and they will be closing on the 15th of July. And we're holding an information session, which I should have mentioned for the P&D grants. We hold information sessions in the lead up to these grants so that en masse we can have a group of young aspiring applicants come along and hear a little bit more in a bit more detail about these programs so they have a better idea to go out and apply. Our next information session for the fellowships is on the 9th of May at 5:30 at Carclew House. And applicants are also encouraged to have a one-on-one consultation with the program coordinator to discuss the application prior to submission. So they open 1st of May, so they're open now, and they run through to the 7th of July. We do not do consults in the week before the grant is due. You have to do it earlier than that. So that's last year's fellowship winners. We're with our patron Marjorie Fitzgerald. We also offer microloans, quick start microloans. Now these they're no interest loans, and they're commercial loans for individual artists, groups and creative practitioners aged 18 to 26. They're ideally suited for design, production, presentation or exhibition costs. They might be used for equipment or material purchases, research and development, professional development, marketing and promotion costs, touring, or to top up a grant funding gap. The loan amount is $1,000 to $3,000. The term of the loan is 3 to 12 months, so we can be quite flexible with the repayments. But it is a commercial loan, and young artists have to understand that failure to repay the loan does have an impact on their credit rating for future grants. There's a number of eligibility requirements. Probably best to look on our website for those because they can be quite extensive. To qualify, a young artist needs to outline the purpose of their loan, describe their practice, outline their experience in the sector and provide supporting evidence for their work, and also provide referees. We have a pool of, I think it's $15,000 that we can loan out at any time, and when that money gets repaid, that pool gets topped up. So once it runs dry, there's no loans available till someone starts paying their stuff back. We also have quick response grants, which we don't necessarily advertise. There are sometimes little pockets of money left over from the projects and development rounds. And it might be $3,000 or it might be $500. And basically that money is set aside that if a young artist gets an opportunity that was there's reasonable cause to say that was an unexpected opportunity, they can contact us and we might give them up to $1,000. So they have to get to Sydney for some particular reason to attend a particular workshop or masterclass or something like that. If we see fit, we may support them to take that trip, and we're offering them, probably 3 or 4 or 5 of them a year, I guess, come through. We also have a couple of awards and scholarships that we manage. They really do the money comes from the Independent Arts Foundation. The first one is the Franz Kempf Printmaker Award, and this supports the professional development of a young South Australian printmaker. It's offered once every 2 years. It's $4,000. Our funding coordinator is available to provide more information and support for those who are applying for this particular award. It's not being offered this year. It was offered last year, so it will be open again next year for the 2018-2019 activity. But yeah, it basically allows a young printmaker to do whatever they feel that they need to do to further their practice. And we also have the June S. Tanner Memorial Scholarship. And this is a professional development program in Italy. Again, it's once every 2 years, but we are in conversation with the IAF and the Italia Australia Association, who also support this award, to see if it will be offered this year or not. But it's now there's been 2 recipients of this award, and again, it's to further or develop your practice through a professional development program of an artist's choice in Italy. And the scholarship is valued at $4,000. It was established to honour the memory of the late Vice President of the South Australian branch of the Italia Australia Association, who accompanied groups of Australian on cultural tours of Italy, and she also taught mosaic making. So yeah, that will probably not be happening this year. We're pretty sure that will be offered next year, but we're just seeking a little bit of clarity around that. And so that's the breadth of the funding programs that Carclew runs. We obviously run a lot of different programs and things like that for young people, but in terms of our funding program, that's the scope of what we have to offer. So thank you very much. If there's any questions, I'm happy to field them now.
Have we any Facebook questions?
No, not yet.
Are your assessment panels multi-art form panels, or are they?
Yes. Yeah, we have we'll have a theatre rep, a film rep. So that's an interesting thing. We support young filmmakers as well, which often isn't the case with the state and federal funding bodies. Literature or writing representative, of music, dance, multi-arts. Peter, help me out. I think that's it, isn't it?
Visual arts.
Yeah.
And visual arts, of course. And visual arts as well. So the seven on the panel.
The residency in Italy, that's really interesting. Like how did that come about through
The Independent Arts Foundation approached, it was before my time, but they approached us like it's similar to the Franz Kempf Printmaker Award. They actually have the money, but they've asked us to manage the assessment process and the acquittal process, so that the money comes in, the money goes out,
So is there a studio or accommodation or anything?
No, it's up to the artist to source their own program of professional development.
Yeah.
And so, $4,000, you'd obviously need other financial support to make it a meaningful program, but it's about I guess, seeding one of those projects that someone might be able to seek further funding elsewhere.
Starting point.
Yeah.
What have the two recipients of that award actually done with it? What do you know what they actually undertook in Italy?
I don't know the first one, because Gabriella is the most recent one, and she is also a printmaker, I believe.
Okay.
Is that right, Peter?
I think that's correct, but I can't remember the actual activity that she nominated.
She's hoping to go back. It was a very successful program, and she's hoping to get back there again. I think she was, rather than applying for the France Camp, she applied for this one because there was a particular style of printmaking in Italy that she was interested in doing.
Okay.
So do the recipients have to identify someone in Italy that they're going to connect with themselves?
Yeah, or a
just-
course to do, or a company to work, because you could be going to do theatre, or you could be doing all sorts of things, but it's because it's coming from the Australia-Italia Association, it must be somewhere in Italy.
Thank you, Al. Any questions, Matt?
No, not at this stage. Just some comments.
No more questions from the floor? Okay, we can probably wrap this session up and perhaps just give us 5 to 10 minutes to set the next presentation up. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Tom.